This NBA season has had a very interesting start, and I asked you guys on YouTube and on Twitter some of your early season hot takes for the association, and in this video, we're going to take a look at a few of these hot takes to see if you guys are cooking or y'all just don't know ball. Without further ado, let's get into the first hot take. From my man KB, he says Steph might have his most efficient year because of how easy he can walk into these 30-point games like the game against the Kings. Stephen Curry is having one of them years again. I'm not gonna lie, he's cooking. When we look at Stephen Curry this season, he is on par of having a better season than his 2016 unanimous MVP season. He's averaging more points, more assists, more rebounds on insane efficiency while a lower usage rate, which means he's just getting it done whenever he has the ball in his hands. The Warriors' record doesn't look that great. They're going to get into a rhythm. Stephen Curry is coming out of the gate hot, and I think that he's been the main big positive for the Warriors right now. What Stephen Curry has done over the past year or so, he's put himself in that conversation of where if you have him as the number one player in the league, it should really come with no debate or any type of quarrel. He's just that good. I don't think this is going to be kept up the entire season. Stephen Curry is going to be averaging 35, 34. And I think the Warriors understand that for them to win a championship this year, Stephen Curry can't produce this much for the team the entire season for them to repeat. But I think that even with that, we got to highlight how well Stephen Curry has played. I think that if he's playing at an MVP level, the Warriors are always going to be a team that you have to look out for. It doesn't matter if you're up 8 in 4 minutes left. They're just that good. And I think Stephen Curry has been phenomenal to begin the season, and we got to pay attention to it, and we got to give him his credit. So, yeah. Next up, we got to talk about the Utah Jazz, everybody's new favorite team. I made a whole video about the Utah Jazz, so I won't talk too much in depth about them, but to tell you guys again, this team, they share the sugar on the basketball court. Everybody's eating on the floor on offense and on defense. Lauri Markkanen has made another step in his game. He might become an all-star this season, depending on how well they played. And Will Hardy, their head coach, got to give them some credit. Again, he's been playing great. And I think that when we talk about the Jazz, look, they may not want to tank. And I think a lot of people are surprised that, when are they going to start losing games? They're not a poor level. When it comes to talent in the NBA, they have loads of talent. They've proven a lot of people wrong. So we got to give credit to the Jazz. But when we talk about them being better than the Lakers, that too, you're cooking too, man. I ain't gonna lie. The Lakers are just they're chaos. It's just chaos. This entire team just is not constructed properly to win games in 2022. They lack the outside shooting. They lack pure wing defenders. They lack size. And I don't think Anthony Davis is a 5. He's a 4. You can just tell by, he looks definitely slower than how he used to look in 2020. This entire team looks bad. And I think LeBron James, I think he might have taken a small dip in his athleticism. I think he still has IQ as a great player, but he's not as quick. And I think maybe it's the early part of the season. LeBron has said it before, but hopefully LeBron and AD can get better. But I don't have any faith in this team doing anything well. I think that this doesn't even just fall down to the roster and coaching with Darvin Ham. You got to look at Jeannie, Pelinka, not doing their jobs to the full T, but that's going to be a video coming soon. Y'all be on the lookout for that. From my man Gobert, he says Rudy Gobert will be an MVP.
Stop it. Get some help.
No, not a chance. No. I don't know what you were cooking, but it ain't good, bro. I'm not going to lie to you. The Minnesota Timberwolves, and I talked about them early in the season, I was really shaky about what could happen with this Twin Tower lineup. And as you can see, this team just is still trying to figure out their chemistry and figure out what they need to do to be a consistent and productive offense on the court. In a system where you're trying to figure out how guys are going to perform and trying to figure out ways to implement new pieces, if the pieces that are already there, like D'Lo, isn't producing to the level that you need them to be, it slows the whole process down. And I don't think the Timberwolves have that much time. They gave up 5 first-round picks for Rudy Gobert. So this was a big win-now trade. And if this doesn't look like a situation where they can legit compete for a championship, then this is a bad trade. But this is early. We'll see. But Minnesota, y'all gotta ramp it up, bro. Y'all gotta ramp it up, man. I have a lot of Philly fans on my timeline, and a lot of them want Doc Rivers out of Philly, like immediately. I think the beginning of the season, Embiid started off really, really rocky, and James Harden looked really, really good, and so did Maxey. But with James Harden now being injured and Embiid slowly getting back into a rhythm, you haven't seen the best of Embiid and Harden together proactively on the court yet. That's the main thing for the Philadelphia 76ers this season. Tyrese Maxey is a young budding star in the league, and he's very, very good off the ball. Tobias Harris, again, is a player who can play off the ball, and they have a lot of pieces that can help them win the championship. But it's going to come down to if Joel Embiid and James Harden can play proactively great at the same time. We haven't necessarily seen that since they've been there together, and that might fall into coaching and maybe some schemes. But when James Harden comes back from his injury, hopefully very, very soon in December, that's going to be the main side for what they want to see from Doc Rivers. But if Doc Rivers cannot seem to figure out a way to coach a scheme to get both of them going at the same time, yeah, pack him up. He got to go. Because I ain't going to lie, there's been teams that have played fairly, really, really, really good once Doc Rivers was gone. So we'll see how that goes for the Philadelphia 76ers. My next hot take, we have Darren Fox is going to request out of the Sacramento Kings. I'm not going to lie. Darren Fox has signed a 5-year extension with the Sacramento Kings, so he's not going nowhere. He's not going nowhere. I do think this team has made a lot of good strides in trying to become a playoff team. I like the team that they've made this year. They don't have the best record, but you have seen improvements if you've been watching the Kings. And Darren Fox has made himself, he might be an all-star this year, but how well he's been playing. His increase in points per game, his efficiency has been so much better. His three-point shooting ability has been better as well. You can see the improvements in his game. The team isn't bad. It's a really, really good team. I will say that Tyrese Halliburton trade, in that video that I made about a week ago, go check it out. If they had a backcourt of Tyrese and Darren Fox still together, could have been very, very crazy. But that's besides the point. I don't know. But I like the fact that the Sacramento Kings are trying to make those strides to make a playoff team. But I will say within 2-3 years, really 2 years, if they can't become if they don't make the playoffs, I would not be surprised if Darren Fox wants to be moved. I ain't gonna lie, he's been there for so long, hasn't been in the playoffs. This reminds me of what happened to Boogie Cousins. And Boogie Cousins got his one opportunity to leave the Sacramento Kings, had a great season, and unfortunately got injured and it riddled his entire career. And he missed out on all those opportunities to play in those high-value minutes. I'm not saying it's going to happen to Darren Fox, but you have to look at some situations where players want to get the most out of when they're playing at their best. And hopefully the Kings keep it up. Hopefully the Kings can create a playoff atmosphere in the next few seasons or maybe this season, but we'll see. But credit to Darren Fox and how well he's been playing. A lot of you guys have a lot of young MVP favorites, and I want to talk a little bit about them. Ja Morant, missing his defensive anchor, Jaren Jackson Jr., missing one of the better wing players in Zaire Williams. And this team is still performing very, very well in the Western Conference. You have Desmond Bane averaging 25-5. They missed out on so many guys who left in free agency last year, but this team is still performing well. If that was anyone else, they'd be talking about them being an MVP. They'd be getting their praise. So a lot of praise to Ja Morant for how well he's performed. I talked about how he's improved his three-point shooting. I like what I see from Ja Morant. It's only going to get better. Luka Doncic, who he's going nuclear when it comes to him just being a guy who can just destroy your defense. Whatever you throw at him, he knows how to disrupt it. And you talk about a guy who's literally a triple-double every single night. He's good for it. While his efficiency has improved, Luka Doncic, again, he is a leading candidate for maybe the MVP award. And a lot of people are going to say, well, he has the ball in his hands all the time, so he gets to do those things. But this is a guy, even with a high usage rate, if you're that good and performing so well consistently, she's only had less than 30 points once this year. There's been around 10, 12 games for most teams. That is great. That is amazing. So give credit where credit is due and don't try to be an analytics nerd to take away from what we're seeing. And lastly, Jayson Tatum. A lot of people think Jayson Tatum is having an MVP caliber season again. I think that Jayson Tatum, a lot of people thought that he was going to perform very, very badly because of how bad he performed in the 2022 NBA Finals. But this season, he's performed very nice. I think that Jayson Tatum is the best wing in the league right now. He's one of the better defenders. He's one of the best offensive players. And I think that he gives you what a lot of people want, especially at the wing position. And I have a hot take that you'll hear right now. You listening, you watching, wherever you're at right now. I don't think the gap between Luka Doncic and Jayson Tatum is that far off. I think Luka Doncic is the better player by most people, except if you're in Boston. Well, for what Jayson Tatum provides, especially on defense and on offense, and he's a willing playmaker, he's not too far behind Luka Doncic. And I don't think that Luka Doncic is just like, he's mid. He's a superstar. But I think Jayson Tatum is literally, if Luka's a superstar, Jayson Tatum is literally, after the season, a superstar, in my opinion, if he keeps this up. So, y'all let me know if I'm cooking and maybe I'm tripping. Let me know in the comment section. And lastly, we have our last hot take from a Knicks fan. The Knicks will make the Eastern Conference Finals. I don't want to hear anything. The Hawks suck.
You are a failure. You are a failure. You can never make it.
Yeah, it's time to wrap this up. If you enjoyed the video, let me know in the comment section some of your hot takes of what you guys thought about the NBA season so far from what we've seen. Again, leave a like on the channel. It just helps the channel grow. And we've seen so much growth so far over the past few months. It's been crazy. And we're going to end 2022 with a bang. If you guys enjoy the content, again, subscribe to the channel. Turn that post notification bell on so you never miss a video. And until next time, stay on beat.